Hello keyboard players, this is Barzy here and we've got Joel here. We're here to show you this amazing keyboard rig that's using the laptop, the Nord, the Nano Control, all of this cool stuff which can seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you today, and it really does make for a beautiful sound with some amazing options. So first of all, what you're going to want to do, let's just say you get here on a Sunday morning, you want to make sure this is working. That's stage one. So open up your laptop here, and really before we do anything, we're going to make sure that everything's plugged in right. So first of all, this here is the Focusrite interface. This is going to need to be turned on here with the switch, and you're going to need to make sure that the adapter's plugged in. The next thing you're going to make sure is that our input 1 and 2, just check that those are correctly plugged in there, and these are going to a DI out the back, which is sending them to the desk into the pad channels. So that's going to be all hooked up. Then you're going to make sure that out of the USB thing here, this is connecting up here to the dongle going into the laptop. So that's making sure that that interface is all working. So then with the laptop, make sure it's charging, all plugged in there. You don't want it to cut out mid-set. And also make sure that this dongle is correctly plugged in. Then over here we've got the Korg Nano Control, which is just plugging into this dongle going to the computer. And lastly, this one here, the Nord out of the USB is going to plug into the computer like this as well. So the Nord's going to be separately working as its piano, but it's also controlling some software in Ableton Live. So make sure that the outputs, channel out 1 and 2, are also going to a DI, so they're going to be sent to a desk. And again, turn this all on, and then we're nearly ready to go. So we're just going to open here our software Ableton Live. So Ableton Live. Oh, here we go. It is coming. Don't fear if it takes a little moment. So this will just come up to most likely a blank Ableton Live scene, but we want to actually open one that we've set up previously. So File, Open Recent Set. We're going to get here Sunday. So open that right up. It might just take a little moment, and here we are. So we've set this up to work really well with our current setup. So to make sure that it's got everything going into it, we need to make sure that it's choosing the interface that we have. So let's go here, Live, Preferences, and over here on the audio input device and audio output device, we're going to choose Scarlett 606 USB. Boom. Now we are ready to rock. So that should be all connected up if we've done all of that correctly, and we're ready to go. So I'm going to hand it over to Joel to talk to us about this here, our first pad, which is being controlled by the Nord. And it's a great pad. It's from Hillsong. We got it from Peter James, who does all of their keyboard and Omnisphere stuff. He makes their pads, and this is kind of his go-to one. It's a great pad because just by using a simple filter thing here on the Nord, we can change it from being a really warm, lovely kind of atmospheric pad to going to a really open and intense pad that can really open up a chorus. So why don't you talk to us about that, Joel?
Cool. So the Nord is controlling the piano and the pad at the same time. So if you wanted to swell in a pad, first you would need to turn down the piano sound, which you can do here with the master volume. So once that's off, then this mod wheel here on the left hand side of the Nord will control essentially the volume of the pad, but it's controlling how much high frequencies are in the pad. So if you wanted to swell in a pad, first turn the piano off, and then you just play your chord, and then slowly you can filter up that pad Lovely.
Awesome.
It's easy.
That's really cool. So there's just one thing to note here is this Korg Nano Control is here controlling the volume. So it's assigned to this first fader here, and if you look there, that arrow there is moving up and down. So if you play there, Joel, I'll show you how this changes the volume. So I'm going to move this down, and it's going to cut out. So if you can't hear anything, make sure that the volume is up. So that's always going to be assigned to that first channel there, that first fader. So just once more, Joel, why don't you demonstrate changing from one song to the next?
Okay.
So you're going to have your piano on and a bit of pad. So you'll hear both piano and pad. So the first thing you want to do is take that piano out of the mix by turning it down. So if you play that now, Joel, we'll just hear pad. Yeah. So then take that mod wheel down to the point where there's basically nothing and you're free to change a key. And it's very sensitive, so you'll have to do it slowly so that it doesn't jump. Let's just hear it do a big jump. This is an example of it not. So that wouldn't be a sensitive way to do it. So really slow. And then you can just bring your piano back in and you're ready to rock for the next song. That's just a really seamless way. Now let's say, Joel, you were going from a verse to a chorus. Can we hear that? Bringing up the intensity. It's really open, really sparkly, lots of energy. Bringing it back down for a verse or a lower moment. So it's extremely versatile pad. So that's that. Pretty easy to use, but does take a little bit of practice just to get it intuitive. So the last thing I'll just show you on here is that we do have some constant pads here. So we suggest using that pad because it's just so versatile. You can change the dynamics from verse to chorus and change the feeling and really use it as an instrument more than just a crutch or something going through. But if you do want, you can also use a constant pad, and for this it's very simple. Just begin by having this second fader which controls the constant pads. Have it down, click the one you want. We've got some here: B, D, F, E, A, C, B flat, just some common keys that you might use. So let's say your song's in B, you can just click that there, slide this second fader up, and there you've got a backdrop of a constant pad which you can still play any sort of piano stuff over that. You could blend both, have a constant pad and the actual church pad as well if you wanted, but that is just an option. So if you are using this and change it between songs, just make sure you fade out that pad before you change to the next one, and then fade that back in. And same goes here. You're going to want to use some sensitivity to do it at a way that seems natural before you change. But that there really is how we're currently using Ableton Live in conjunction with the Nord, the Nano Control, going through the Focusrite to the desk. So hopefully that helps. We think it's awesome and it's going to bring a whole lot of life to our keyboard sounds. So go ahead and watch this video and yeah, see how it all works. Thanks guys.